Okay, late start for Mr. Magnus Carlsen and myself. Tracking the Dr. Titled Arena August 2020. Big square on c4. He is streaming right now. Hanging pawn structure. Black seems to be in control. Down a pawn at the moment, too. Has a nice grip over the light squares. Queen trapped? No, not quite. Close to it. There's a piece. In the light square bishop, Gonzo. Looking for some trick. Ah, nice. Rook to e1. Hello in the chat. MSRX. Hello back to you. Okay, white resigned with that one. Where do we stand? The standings here. The Doctor, I'm catching. I missed the first 3 games. He is 4 for 4 so far. A lot of big guns in there. Okay, here's game 5. He's in 49th place currently. I played the first few games of this tournament, and then out of the corner of my eye, I saw in the top games that the Doctor was logged in. He pulled a sneaky one. So let's see. They're playing for some big money. I think the biggest first prize thus far for Titled Arena. $1,250 first prize. I'll double check after this game. How's it looking? White has the exchange. Pawn for it though. Have to watch out for the back rank. So rook, bishop takes, you get mated on the spot. These guys are coordinated well, so some defense of queen a1 hitting the queen. The queen is very, very active. Seems like black will be getting a piece. Oh, well, that was really slick. This doesn't seem like it's going to end well, though, for Team Carlsen. Yeah, he goes down. Okay, let me see the standings. Yeah, there's your payout. $12.50 for first, $2.50, $125, $75, $50. Next opponent, he's in 80th. Fresh off of his match against Nakamura, he's back on the bullet. He's back on the bullet tournaments. Hello, those of you just tuning into the chat. Andy is Yoda, very low sodium, Cheddar, Spielman, Nulani, Kiba. I see you all there. Okay. I didn't even have time to throw out a tweet. Maybe I could do that as well right after this game. Black looks to be in the driver's seat. F-file pressure. Wins a pawn. Maybe rook to f1 one day. Okay, queen g1. Resolve this. Check, duck, and now threaten this. How are you defending? You're not. You're resigning. Okay, he gets the W. Streaming now at Twitch. All right, arm 7s. Let's see what we get here. Space advantage for black. Immediately putting pressure on c3. Extending the scope of this bishop. Made that white c-pawn flinch. Wants the file. Making life difficult for Fianchetto. This could be sensitive. Okay. Rook exchange. Nice pressure still here by black. Pressure on this pawn. Making life difficult for d4 advance. Okay, this is a weak link. Better bishop for Carlsen. Keeping the pressure. Maybe f5, knight e5. No, he's hunting right away for this base point. Why not? This knight's dead. Easily converting. Tried a sneaky move. That's all black white had at that point. Hoping for a pre-move. b2. Wasn't happening. So where does that put him? I don't know yet. We got Penguin in there. I believe Ali Reza is in there. Rebecca Harris. Let's not miss too many moves of this game, huh? Okay, next game up, FM opponent. Pressure on the B file. This pawn is isolated. The queen is under fire. C3 gonna fall, and then some. No, it's defended just in time. Offer a queen exchange, hitting the knight first. Doesn't care about the structure. Cares more about a knight jumping in here. Whoa, he's getting 2 minor pieces for a rook. Knock out the B pawn. Blocking with the bishop. It's interesting to me. I was thinking of the knight, keeping this diagonal. Okay, this is a little tricky here for white, no? Knight on h4 can be problematic. Or simply removing the knight with this to follow. Yeah. You have to run over here? Even then it's a problem. King here, knight takes knight, and then rook down here, and you're in trouble. So he's... Oh, wow, that's a cool defense. I didn't see that one coming. The rook coming over here to defend the bishop on f1. Yeah, it's still not a fun position for white, but he still has this piece, at least. Yeah, this rook, he is all bottled up, black knows it, and this king has come quite the ways. Can you make further progress? Probably. Capture here and capture there. Incoming. Simplify. He's still going to try to hang onto a piece, and now it's a 1 king and pawn ending. No trickiness left here for Carlsen. He goes down. Surprised he was even able to... Well, no, I shouldn't be surprised. That one caught me off guard there. Temporary resistance. Okay, Fighter Man 91. Next opponent. He's hunting the dark square bishop in this one. Some early speed bumps for the doctor. Trying to make this guy a monster. Any white pawns on dark squares, let's break them down. Extend the scope of this guy. He's still trying for that. He's got a square for the bishop. Maybe this pawn moves. He is a passer. Queen is hit. Where does she go? Where's the cozy home? She'll be questioned on the c-file. This with the knight jump in here. Shuts down the bishop. A great jump nearby. Rook is under fire. I'm going to give up the exchange. Okay, white is, I think, doing well. Going to win a pawn? Can't take here just yet. That pawn would not be able to be stopped. But the king scoots over. The bishop is shut out of the game. Trouble here. G3 here. White is in the driver's seat. This pawn should fall. He's going to maybe get... Oh, that's slick. You can't take twice. That pawn is dangerous. So the bishop has been freed. Balanced material, knight versus bishop. The rook has gone wild. 2 passers, rook pawns. The knight hates the rook pawns. This guy is flying. The bishop is... it's the right color bishop to have to support this rook pawn. You like to be able to promote that, or control that promotion square. I think he's got this one. Could take, yeah. Clock time is the big one. He's going to play on... Nope. Okay, there we go. White resigned. Where are we at? Penguin, 34, 30. Opper, 30. Rebecca Harris in there, 27. Arca in 8th. Ali Reza in 10th. Paul from SPB. Next opponent. First time playing against this guy. Let's see. Establishing a pawn on the e-file. 4th rank pawn battle. You get the bishops. Doesn't want the bishops. Some pressure on f6. More pressure on f6. Where do we go from here? Trying to disrupt the structure. h5. Queen exchange. These pawns are mobile now. G file is opened. Rook hops right to it, preparing now to double. Capture and then a check, and then you take the knight. Big problems here. A check and then capture here? Yep. Bishop is hit. Are there mates nearby? Something like this. Can we make that happen? Or just, yeah, that's looking pretty sweet here. This rook is hungry. A lot of good options here for Team White. He's going for the mate. Is he getting the mate? He's looking for a mate. Bishop here first? Or can you check your way to checkmate? Yes, you can check your way to checkmate. Very nice. King in the corner, knight on f7. King on f8. Knight h7. Okay. Where does that put him? It's not in the top 10 yet. He was in 69th place. Still a lot of time to go. Universe 64, next opponent. National Master, Universe 64. Hello to those who are just joining here on Twitch. Late start. I started playing and stopped when I saw him playing. I want to track him. Let's see. I think we will get some games this time between the Doctor and Ali Reza. Okay. So what to do here? I don't think you want to allow an isolated pawn, so the knight ducks. Some accident is bound to happen on these light squares. Black does not have a light square bishop. Knight is hit. Okay, he's taking. There's that accident on the light squares. Position opening up. The light squares are super vulnerable for black. How do you crash through, however? Bishop takes, queen takes. Okay, you're taking like this first. Threatening check and then mate. Okay, once we have something happening here. You have to part ways with this rook. You got to swipe the light square bishop. So in the end, white emerges up 2 pawns. Does not want to block because queen takes pawn would hit with check. Queen's going hunting, throwing some checks, getting the rook in the ball game. Mate nearby. A rook lift was nearby, so you need to get the queens off to save your king. And in the end, we have a king and pawn ending, 2 versus 1, easily converted. Nothing fancy over here for black to create a passed pawn. Well, you could, but it would cost a pawn. Yeah, he's going to push on through. Plenty of ways to do it. You could do this, and then after this, the old Zug Zwang. Okay, got 14 seconds in the tank as well. An hour 34 remaining. Where does that put him? Ali Reza, 38 with fire. Ali Reza said, I'm not going to let you get a second win in a row with this titled arena. We can't have that. Penguin, yeah, we have all the sharks out here. What an awesome event. Whoa, we have a wild E-pawn with this one. That F-pawn got swiped real quick. The king is now on G8. How did that happen? We blinked. Okay, shouldn't be a problem, I don't think. This guy's a good defender of the king side. Oh, discovered attack against the bishop. It's getting sharp. Very sharp. He's up a pawn. Can it be held on to? A little vulnerable here. The black king without the dark square bishop around. Try to remove this knight before the queen and knight can converge somehow on, let's say, the f6 square. White wants to keep the knight. Problem on f2. Okay. Possibly queen takes b7 with check if this knight budges. So what's the story here? Chop and then chop on this square? What was I missing there? Oh, there would have been a devastating knight fork. That's what I was missing. The bishop had a responsibility. Still up a pawn, minor piece imbalance. No, check that now. Black is up a minor piece and a pawn. Knight and pawn. Slight edge on the clock as well. Centralized queen, targeting f2, maintaining pressure. Crash through on f2. To be a little careful here. Still, pawn is pushing through. Okay, it should be clean. Free up the knight. Unpin the knight. Could have maybe captured there. Although, no, there would have been a rook on f1. Game over. No good checks. g2 is collapsing. The queen is hit. It's over. What a weird start to that one, huh? e4, e5, e6. Capture on f7. After 5 moves, the king is on g8. Okay, Ricky Kits. Ali Reza, foot still on the gas. All right. Let's see what we get here. Many exchanges. Playing within the structure. Both sides. Doesn't care about knight f3. No fear of knight f3. Queen is hit. Queen on f3. Gets rid of the knight. Okay, no issues on the light squares now. It's just the queen that could take advantage, but is that enough? Maybe. The knight's a sturdy defender. Can rely upon this guy. Maybe the queen weasels over. Get rid of the queen. Some sacrifices nearby. Yeah, you're going to have to lose a pawn in order to save your king. Black up a pawn. I don't know how well positioned this rook is. It's going on the offensive. You could probably trade rooks and then get this other guy active. He has cleaned house on the queen side. Okay, black's getting some counterplay. This pawn is soon to be mobile. Do you break down this? Are there checks and then here? This rook is going to get activated. Okay, this pawn's pretty fast though. You have to try for this. This is too slow, is it not? You're on the rook. Main 2 threat. Yeah, there's nothing good here. Here, you just take. They're far advanced, but they're just a hair or two too slow. Where's that put them? 15th. 15th. Okay. Double fianchetto. Let's see. It's an odd deployment for the king knight. Not used to seeing that. All right, light square bishop's gone. Is this king a little vulnerable? Oof. Free pawn. Knight's going to go here, I think. He wants to be right here. He gets there with tempo. No, he's going to stick around here. He's looking at the d3 square now. d3, d3, f3, light squares. Who would have thought? No light square bishop around, you find good homes for your pieces on light squares. Problem on f2. Going to try to tame the knight first. How do you do that? Here, if the knight could get there, that's maybe a problem. White would like to get the knight here. It takes a lot of time, though. He's looking for maybe that. Black is going to break things down, though. Can't get here. Need some support. Some lateral defense of h3. He's going to keep it a little closed. This knight, not such a great piece. Looking at d3 again now with the rook. Ready to push with check. That's a resigner. Any queen move. That pawn is going to be hungry. Even if the rook blocks, the pawn continues to march. Could take the knight or promote. Okay, he gets the W. Does that put him in the top 10? It does, with 36 fire. Alireza, however, up 15. Okay. Everyone is out for that $12.50 first prize. Opper is in third. Do not forget about Opper. I believe he took second the last arena. The last bold arena. All right, let's see. White down a pawn, but with a nice center. Unopposed light square bishop, e6 can be super disruptive. This pawn is now whole. Oh, bad mouse slip, man. Bad mouse slip. He certainly did not want to play queen e5. Oh, look at that. Black must have offered a draw. What a sportsman. Okay. All right, so what do we got here? 38. It could have been a 0, if not for that draw offer. Okay, Manchester United Pro. Another IM that will give every player a run for their money. Oh, a beginner trickaroni or what? No, queen f6 defends. I mean, you could get here. And f6, they get c2 in the end. That's sneaky. That is sneaky. Queen f6 is a defense. You take the bishop, the queen would have captured the bishop on b2. Cool defense there. All right, what is happening? A lot. Take the bishop. You're going to grab a pawn first. That would activate the rook, so it's taking right away. In the end, what do we have? Black is... Oh, I lost track here. Black is down. Black is up, excuse me. A knight versus a pawn. Way too fast. I lost track of the material. Knight on b6. More material for black incoming. White needs to keep this rook around. He's going to target this guy. He lives, though. He's in time. This guy's passed. This king has that responsibility to stop him, though. This knight is wonderful. Knight on f4. Super good. Here, here, here. And we start to think about mates. Doesn't even want to give this pawn up just yet. Okay. Yeah, that's clean. A full piece up. The knight is super good. Doesn't have to worry about both wings. No queenside pawns. Soon. Okay, so a draw and now a loss. 38, Ali Reza, 55. Ali Reza has lost one game against Temp 006. There we go. Ali Reza. Number 8 versus number 1. This is a big game. Look at their score. Nearly 200 games between these two. 201 to 183. 201.5 to 183.5. Okay, queens are off. This guy is passed. White is up a pawn and has strong knight. A very strong knight. White, I believe, is going to easily convert this, even on the clock. I love this knight. He cannot be dislodged. Yeah, and this rook is now super active. White's going to activate the king. Easily convert? I don't know about that. I should rethink that line. Can't take here. That pawn was poisoned because of a check. The rook would fall. That pawn has... Oh, okay, yeah, probably a resigner here. A resigner. Ali Reza with the W. Extending his lead. 59 with fire. Yo. Okay. Slow down, Ali Reza. Come on, man. Make it a little close. Okay, Opper. Number 5, Opper. 2909. Let's see. Gonna shoot for a c5 break. Okay, he's coming right after your king. You wanna go queenside? Let's rip open the A file. This is a super cozy home for the white king. Not so sure about the black king's home. Black is up a pawn. Okay, probably good news for black here that the queens are off. Less fear of the king getting mated or anything. He could get a little excited with these dark squares. Can I have a rook and pawn ending? Yay or nay to that? This pawn can fall soon. There can be a problem on the second rank. Possibly. White is the one I feel playing for 2 results. Nope. Yeah, he's going to get the big result. White wins. The rook will fall next. Opper with the W. The doctor is falling back here. Not having a good streak. That's 3 goose eggs in a row. International master like a gin. Okay, he's going a little wild here with the G and H pawns. Rook is hit. Swipe the bishop? No. Doesn't want that. He's going to put the rook on G3. Okay, you got to give the light square bishop up now. Otherwise you drop the bishop on B2. Need the queens off. Take, move the rook. Where does he go? Black has the bishop pair. White would like to get rid of this pawn. Not easy to track it down. Rook could be defending if knight to E5. You have to take. Okay. Is he getting it? He's getting it now, I think. What about this? Okay, he wants to hang on to this pawn. Here and then rook here. No. Rook to f3. Maybe he's going to try for something like that. This, it's easily defended. Okay, these guys are in motion. Can you get this pawn? Okay, the white king is really good. This pawn restricts these two. He's going to get this guy next. You have to play here if you want to try and hang on to it. Okay. He's just pushing with the pawn. I wasn't considering this approach. I don't know if I like this approach. Yeah, this feels off. This feels losing. This is losing. That is just how it is. He's hoping for a stalemate. He's getting mated, though. Black could have mated there. He's getting mate next. It seemed like you scoot over, grab the pawn, and your king would be in time to get that other one, but I don't know. I wasn't considering that approach and that ending. What is that, 4 losses in a row now? How's Ali Reza doing? I didn't check it out. Let's see. I'm seeing in the chat Ali Reza is on fire still. Yeah. When is he not on fire? Look out for mate. Bishop. He's getting here. I don't know here. White's looking pretty good. He's up 2 pawns. He has sensitive points covered. Queen. She's far away, but she's covering that. This pawn continues to march. This bishop is excellently placed. Defending the king side, supporting this passer. White wants a queen exchange. Then he could feel comfortable approaching with the king. It's very nice coordination so far for white. You want to be careful. You don't want to allow queen to e4 now. All right, black's making some progress. This pawn can fall. This rook is ideally placed behind the passed pawn. You certainly don't want to see this pawn get here and the white bishop somehow control the promotion square there. I think this is a nice check, flushing the king away before he can even approach this pawn. Was he getting mated? He's getting mated! King here, bishop here, mate. He resigned. Okay, so he stopped the bleeding. Can he get on a streak? He's in 22nd. Okay. I wanted to quickly see the top 10 there. It wouldn't let me go to that page 1. We'll try it again after this one. Hanging pawn structure. Most commonly seen on the queen side, the hanging pawns, but okay, the king pawns. King side of the board, hanging pawns. And what do we do from here? Queen exchange first. In the end, white is up a pawn. Black has some pressure on c2. Okay. No bishop here. Okay, let's see the conversion. 4 versus 3 on the queen side. This pawn could be targeted. Okay, he's mopping up another pawn. 2 pawns up like a djinn goes down. Okay, where are we at? Ali Reza, 76. What kind of performance is that? 31-45. Whew. Ali Reza. Oh, man. Impressive. Very, very impressive. 31-45. Can't block with the queen. She has responsibility. I have to maybe try this, but then there's that. Okay, bad structure incoming. Problem city for Team Black. Not looking good over here on the king side. How do you get to safety? There goes the dark square bishop. There's something better. Okay, taking advantage of the pin on the d file first. A check. Gonna go hunting. Bishop takes pawn. Queen check. Something else. Bishop simply backs off. Doesn't want to allow white any counterplay potentially on the a file. He's getting to the a file himself now. Problem on b7. Queen exchange. Now you could take here. Saves this pawn first. He was passed. Some exchanges challenge this pawn, and the conversion should be squeaky, squeaky clean. Up 3 pawns. Okay, well, white has a time edge. I was going to say bit surprised not to see a resign, but maybe still playing for the clock there. Probably not a pawn to have given up. Let's see. Pawn is flying. Okay, now he resigns. The doctor is still out of page 1. Ali Reza with 80. Okay, Chess Warrior. Chess Warrior 04, next opponent. 12th place, the doctor. Okay. 2 bishops for white. Maintain this tension? No. Okay, he's going to put the knight on that square, maybe. No. He's watching over this, throwing an attack against a2. Queenside castles. Bishop opposite the queen. Does she have to budge yet? Okay, she goes right away. So white is now undermining the f5 support. Can take here, take with check, and grab this pawn. Some activity for the queen. White is up a pawn, offering a queen exchange. Okay, the rook is actively placed. And try and hang on to that rook. It's under control so far. Trying to get some squares for the rook. That was a nice sequence by white right there. Okay, is this now a draw? It's looking like a draw. Yeah, also with the clock, I'm going to say this one turns out to be a draw. Bishop should stay here. You don't want to see the king get to this c5 square. White could go on to win, if that's allowed. Oh, maybe in some trouble. Oh, okay, so here's the thing. If the king goes hunting for this pawn, you get this one. Eventually you sack the bishop for the pawn. Cannot afford the bishop exchange there. This will be a... well, white could... any result is still possible. Black could still win this. Okay. Black can now not win this. Okay. Can black hold on to a draw? Does he have enough time? Oh, man. Time out. The doctor goes down. Ali Reza extending his lead. 88, 31, 71. Whoo. Okay, Jasugi. National Master Jasugi. They've played 24. Jasugi has scored 6. I'd say that's pretty good. Very strong National Master. And Jasugi. Hanging pawns? No, no hanging pawns. White is winning a pawn. He's going to try to get the light square bishop with this sequence. Flush the knight from defending b7 and then go in for that. Problems for black. Yeah, chop, chop down a second pawn and pressure mounting still against the black king. Quick win. Ali Reza still with 88. The doctor still out of page 1. Out of page... no, he's on 14. 14th place. Hour 13 to go. Okay, this is Dmitry Andreikin. 4.5, 1.5 match score. Let's see what we get. All right. Better bishop. And yeah, that better post for the bishop has resulted in the win of a pawn. Black queenside pawn. Where's the safe square for the queen? If you go here, you're asking for trouble with e5. So interference move, e4. So now we have some tricks. Whew, some serious problems here for white to solve. He's in multiple pins. The queen is short on squares. White is really underdeveloped on the queen side. This is defended with the knight. Okay, he's ready to smash through now on c1. And there is a check here. Black producing a square for the king. White is up a bishop. Okay, I think the worst is in the past now for white. I thought crashing through at c1 would have been the way. He wants to invite the knight. He wants to get that g4 square. White does not want to give him that. Oh! He's barely hanging on right here. He's crawling up into a ball, but I believe he has defended. He's down the exchange. Uh-oh, knight f3. Ooh, that could be painful. Okay, he's asking for a double check. Game over. Queen takes rook next. I think he had to go here, no? No, then he would just drop the rook. Wow, very cool sacrifice by Andrakin there. Pulled that king right out. More accessible to the other pieces. Yeah, very nice. Very nice pressure by Andrakin. Gets the W. The doctor goes down again. 17th place. We know who's in first. Whew. Okay, problem on C7. Or excuse me, F7. A lot of stuff hanging here, huh? Queen, bishop, knight. Not quite the knight over here. Feels like this is maybe close to mate. All right, if you there might have been some queen takes h6 there. I couldn't quite calculate it, but the king would be getting pulled out. Rook h7. Anyhow, we're away from that now. Black threatening mate on f2. Hitting the bishop. Queen has been very activated now. Super active queen on d2. Defended by the knight. How to improve? Rook is hit. Do we care about that? Okay, we care more about h6 apparently. Can't take here. The queen is defending. Rook is hit. Okay, rook takes f2. Very nice deflection. He gets a pawn. Be careful. He doesn't even want the knight. He's once more eyeing up that f2 square. Some more checks, and then a checkmate. Whew, how many of you would have grabbed that knight? Raise your hand. My hand is raised. I don't need to take that knight. Okay, Andrakin again. Yeah, he wanted more. He doesn't want to just grab that knight. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, quick pressure by the white queen. Fork, defended with queen f6. Okay, knight is hit. This square, if black can get to this square, that would be lovely. Can we get there with the knight? It's not easy. Oh, maybe now it is. An opportunity for that. He missed it. I'm pretty sure. Oh, he's getting the two minor pieces now. Oh, that's rough. White is looking pretty good now. The threat was this and then that, so some security over this point. Yeah. It's tough. If these two pawns were traded, that means the knight has a fantastic square. Black trying to hang on to this. He has a passer. Two passers now present. This rook is stopping this guy. This construction is very good to stop this. Okay, some defense of the pawn. Was threatening maybe a check. He's hitting the knight. Threatening this and then that. Maybe white could even allow that. Tough to find a move for black. Okay, white picks up this pawn. Two passers now. Two rook pawn pass. Two rook pawns are passed now. And from here, what do we have? Okay, maybe a time scramble coming up. All right, exchange. Black is up the exchange. Has a pawn as well. Yeah, he could take here. He's winning on the clock and position now. Whew. All right, Ali Reza. Whoa, Ali Reza, what happened? Arca got you. All right. 3160 though. Okay. 96, 66, 64. We're nearly at the halfway point. Rebecca Harris is in there at third. We'll probably get that pairing at some point as well. Got to get into first page though. He's still in page 2 land. Okay, this is nice. This bishop is not feeling too good now. Have to stare at this brick on d5. How do you break that down and maintain material? All right, is there going to be a problem soon? Takes here, queen takes here. White's going to have an active piece. Just thinking an active major piece soon. Knight on d5, f6, super vulnerable. The king here and then there. What is he eyeing up with knight to g4? Trying to get to f3, control some dark squares. f3 it is. Both knights standing really well. Some pressure on f6, maybe h4. No, the knight jumps in. The rook's eyes are opened up. Maybe rook d6 nearby. The queen is hit. Rook d6. No, queen exchange. Bishop is hit. It's defended though. Plenty. Rook and bishop are hit. The knight cannot move. Defensive roll. b5 break or not. Rook here. Rook exchange. A pawn falls. This knight is amazing. The a pawn is passed, and he gets rolling immediately. Okay, 3 passers. That's 3 passers too many. The rook is there in time. The king is there in time. Okay, he gets the W. An hour 5 to go. Ali Reza back on fire. Rebecca Harris in second. The doctor in 8th, 56, playing against the wizard. The wizard, 44-9, their match score. Okay. What do we have? Some hippo. White hippo. Looking for b5 one day. Meets either pawn advance with a pawn advance of his own. Keeps it locked in the center. He's looking to play on the wings, the queen side in particular. Maybe doesn't care about giving up a pawn. He's got some open lines for these guys to roll. Has some square now for the knight soon on d4. If bishop takes bishop, black avoids that. White stops an h-file break. Light squares are sensitive. Doesn't care about losing castling privilege. Castle by hand. This is a very strong bishop. Immediately removed. Queen has a responsibility here. Light squares. Careful, careful, careful. Setting up a capture and a capture. Light squares are broken down. Queen takes. The queen is lost. She's in a pin. Okay. Capture on g6. Very sharp now. Threatening capture here. Maybe what else has a follow-up if you do this? What's the trick? Okay. No good checks here for black. You could afford this check. You could probably crash through on this square with the queen. Have to watch out for queen f5 and then here, so. Rook takes bishop. No good follow-up after that. White is still setting up a discovery, and there it is. Check. The rook falls. A resigner. Wizard goes down. Doctor goes up 4 again. 60 with fire. Back. 44. Ali Reza with 104. Rebecca Harris. Next opponent. Look at all the games they've played. Nearly 800. That's a lot of chess. A lot of hyper. Probably all. Mostly, I would say 1-0 chess. Okay. Black would like to get the knight here. It's a beautiful home for a knight. Balanced material. Passed pawn for white. The knight is on e5. Cannot be dislodged. We'll look to play on the queen side. Remove the knight. Super knight. Pawns with a nice grip on the dark squares. 1 rook exchange. Did he keep 1 rook around? Okay, he's moving forward. He will take that pawn. But now the rook is getting activated. Have some repetition. Be careful, this pawn can be unleashed at any moment. Okay, we have a repetition there. Yeah. Okay, 1 hour, 2 minutes to go. No fire for the Doctor or Rebecca Harris. 108. Ali Reza still in first. Drop stone. Next opponent. Duos are strong. Black is striking at it with c5. This guy is strong as well. He's in Black's house. Challenged with e6. White should be able to get castled. Black is in this pin. How to get out of that pin? He's inserting a check. Whoa. Okay, that's pretty slick. Hitting the queen. He's going to get this guy and then maybe a rook. We'll see. Currently, it's a knight for queen imbalance. Dark square problems for white. Gonna take with the rook or the knight? The knight says no soup for you, no castling, and thank you for the rook. Okay. Now things have changed. It's a rook and 2 minors versus the queen. This bishop is a super defender. I love that bishop on g6. Okay, there should be something really good here. We have mates nearby hitting the queen. Now don't go too far. Queen, you have a responsibility. You have to go here. But then there would have been what exactly? Could she have been flushed away from defending rook to d1? It's still bad, even if white is able to stop an immediate mate. Okay, Ali Reza. Gotta knock out Ali Reza. If you have any chance of coming back, an hour in change remaining. So he's gonna play with this Space Invader pawn. Will this guy be challenged soon? Queen drifting towards the king side now. F5 break nearby. Whoa, he's closing things up over here on the queen side. F5 on board. Let's clear the way. Let's get some lines, the bishop on board in exchange for white. Knight is repositioning to where exactly? Okay, queens are off. Technical phase. Oh, this is rough now. The dark squares have completely collapsed in white's camp. Ali Reza is now up 2 pawns, and the rook is going to enter on b2. You have to babysit that square. Oh. Rook there. He was in pre-move mode with knight to e3. Ali Reza takes him down again and only builds 116. 32-10 performance. The Grizzly Bear. Next opponent. Whew. Are we just watching to see who's going to take second place in this event by this point? With an hour to go. I mean, 30, 40 point advantage. Kind of a lot. Man. Okay, what to say about this one? Slightly better for white, better queen, better knight. Ready to enter. Pressure on a2. Yeah, knight quality, queen quality. All pieces are currently better. Structure is solid for each side, but white controls this only open file. Pivots on this square. g6, f4 can be a good one as well. Yeah. I'm reminded of a game by Alekhine, Botvinnik versus Alekhine. This knight is completely dominated. Rook is going to go into Pac-Man mode. Rook exchange. It's a 1 king and pawn ending. Going to push through. g5. Get rid of the g-pawn, one of the doubled pawns, and then go here. And try something else. Maybe push the a-pawn first. No, g5 it is. Who's winning the race? I think black will be queening first if knight takes knight. Could still go. I think both sides will queen if the knights are exchanged there and the pawns run. Grizzly bear. Grizzly bear. Down on the clock. Down 3. Down to less than 3. Okay, the doctor gets the W. 120 for Ali Reza. The doctor has 66. Okay. What was I saying? 40? No. More than that. Okay, Rebecca Harris. I guess this is a repeat of their first encounter in this tournament. Sneaky move. Pinning the bishop to the queen. Trying to control the dark squares. Okay, this pawn is super annoying. How do you get rid of it? Trying to eliminate the bishop first of all. Okay, it's gone. White has some nice pressure though. Okay, the white pieces are sneaking on in. Good news to have the queens off. The knight can be a good defender. Okay, the rook is a good defender as well. Did not see that one. The knight is now under control. I think the tables have turned slightly. Seems like the worst is in the past for black. The knight, oh, hang on. The knight is eyeing up the f5 square. Maybe trying to get a pawn here, control the knight. The knight needs some different post. Can you play here? f5? Pawn's running. Rook takes pawn. King and pawn ending, probably push and then take on this square. Clock situation. Rebecca Harris up a little bit. This is winning for... Oh, man! Not a good decision there. He's in pre-move mode. I think he was expecting rook takes pawn. That's what it was. Ouch. The doctor goes down. Rebecca Harris takes over the second spot. 124 Ali Reza. Incredible. Only 2 losses. 32-22. Mr. Manchester United Pro. Won the first one. Let's see what we get here. Neither side wants to initiate the queen exchange. Valuable to have an opened rook file. All right. Oh, the D pawn is gone. The B pawn is gone. Things are sharpening up here. For sure. Queen gonna be trapped? Whoa! Okay, that was a mouse slip. He wanted something else. I'm not quite sure what that something else was, though. This somehow? But mistakenly played queen there? I don't know. Tough to say. Not sure what was really intended there. 128, 81, 78. Ali Reza again. Okay, here we go. So we have a dragon. Sicilian dragon. This is a big square. He's getting a pawn. Temporarily, I think the D pawn will fall soon. This guy can fall at some stage. He's going to hang on to the C pawn. He wants to win this and not give up the C pawn. Is this guy close to trapped? A little short on squares. Can these bishops control all the squares by the rook? Shoot for b4, rook here, bishop b3, queen b2. The rook is officially running out of squares. Rook a3, queen b2. Hunted. He wants it for free. Okay, he's doing it under... Yeah, he's doing it in a different way there. Structure is broken down, but this is still... Look at this is a bishop and 3 pawns. That's a lot. Here or what? You don't care about giving up this pawn. You want this bishop to stick around defending here. You're prepared to play 4 versus 3 on the king side. Can this pawn be hunted? It's black's position to try and win. It's looking good on the clock. And I would say position as well. You have to be a little careful about these checks. There still are 2 rooks around. Possible mating nets can be nearby, such as this point right here. Oh, you need to play that rook move and have this block in mind. A little scary for the black king. This pawn is a super thorn. A check. How do you get rid of this pawn? Oh boy. 3 seconds. The bishop is around to help. Uh-oh. He's in a pickle. Time. It's a draw. Barely. Wow. Okay. Alireza ran out of time, but the doctor did not have any material. Draw is the result. Okay, 51 in change. Queen on A1. I always like these little maneuvers. Rook on A2. Something about it. That queen is beautifully placed on that corner square. Okay, black pressing on with E4, disrupting king knight. Huge square now on E3. What to do? Challenge the rook that's on that square. Okay. Very solid for black. This knight is pouncing. Bishop is the big one. Big threat. It's defending now. Knight is hit. Queens are gonna be exchanged. Nope. Bishop is defended. He's getting rolling with the B pawn. Breaks the pin on the knight. Queen is hit. Very active play by the black miners. White's up a pawn, but it doesn't really feel like it. This pawn is under control. The passer, tough to get in B6. A lot of pressure on white. That's maybe why he's down on the clock some. One knight exchange. Black still with the 2 bishops. Open position. Still can't get rolling with this guy. Bishop on C5 I think is a best piece here. Stopping B6 now altogether. Are there any tricks? This knight is under control. Bishop's dropping back to shelter the king. A square produced for the king. Now he's targeting the knight. Hitting the bishop now. Threatening mate. Taking advantage of a pin. Crawling up into a ball. Offering a queen exchange. Blocks with the bishop. Rat race. Check on board. Offering a queen exchange. Declined. I think black will get this one. Or not. White is fighting back on the clock. Here we go. Who's better with the mouse? We're going to find out. Whoa. Just barely got rid of black's last pawn. The doctor, no time. His opponent, no material. Draw on that one. Okay, Ali Reza. So far, 2.5 their score in this tournament. Black lost the B pawn, white lost the E pawn. Nice center for black. White's looking to regroup. Bishop on maybe the main diagonal. This is a nice square for white. Some black pieces there to control that square. Okay, C5 right away. White going to try and hang on to this pawn, swipe the knight. No, if you swipe the knight, the pawn captures, and then the knight has to move. Okay, black seems to be doing pretty well here. I think it's a solid king side. Very sneaky. If queen takes rook, there would have been a fork. Black pieces are in there. The rook steps aside, so queen h7 is not mate. Don't forget about that bishop. He's doing a good job. King is being fleshed out. You could play here. Okay, he's cool with that as well. G5, he could lose a pawn. The king's going to find safety somewhere. Okay, he's dodged. Forced mates, and we have mates probably right around the corner. He's stopping queen here for right now. That's a bishop, though. And this is going to be a win for black. Okay, Alireza goes down, but he is still the pack leader far and away. 130, right? It just didn't register 0 yet? Okay, there was a little delay. The doctor did get that one. He's in 7th. Another game against Andraken. The Benoni by white. Let's see, can you get in b5? Knight takes b3. Pressure on the bishop now. Winning a pawn on b4. Black seems to be doing pretty well here. That's going to be a great square for black. Knight takes, bishop takes. A knight jumping into c3, a bishop there. Where's the counterplay? Yeah, he's really looking at that c3 square now. There will be a knight arriving here, and it's going to be painful for white, I expect. Hitting the rook, hitting the queen within checking distance of the king. A lot of problems nearby. Can't get the exchange. All right. Maybe he was looking at a mate in 2, potentially. If knight takes rook, a check, followed up with knight g6 mate. Oh, is he still going to kind of get that? No. This knight is temporarily, well, he's still there, controlling the d5 square. He's managed to stir up some trouble, white that is, and he is now up the exchange. White has a pawn for it. Knight is defending the rook. This knight, in a way, could maybe be out of play in this situation. Seems like he's under control now. Up a clean exchange. Queens are still on board. Down on the clock, the doctor. Bishop takes, there's a check, and you take here. He's getting some material. Queen takes knight in the end. He's up a minor piece, a bishop versus a pawn, but the clock. Wants a queen exchange. He's got that. Can he convert it? He has the wrong color bishop. Hang on to the f-pawn. Don't let the f-pawn go. He's gone. And it's a draw. He's lucky to get the draw. Okay, where are we at? Ali Reza, of course. The doctor is in 6th, 132 to 73. Rebecca Harris with 105. Having a very good tournament. All right, let us see what we get here. No e5, I guess. If you're playing d5, you're giving up on d5. Or are you? Are you giving up on e5? No, we have the f6 e5 advance, so an unopposed white center right now. Great strength for white. How are you going to push him? That's the right way. Coordinates well with the bishop. This guy's not having fun, staring off into space. Okay, now this knight is under control. 1 point to watch, maybe. Knight into maybe the d3 square. No, he backs off. Best piece for white so far, this guy that's jumping around, causing problems, swiping a b-pawn. Got a runner. There goes the bishop. Yeah, he was cooked over there on h4, wasn't he? 2 pawns for the bishop in balance. Wants a rook exchange. He's getting that guy with check. Hitting the rook, defending the pawn. Look at that. I know I could get out of the pin and just hit your rook. Things are cool. All right. The IM throws in the towel. BMW hero, next opponent. Dr. now in 6th. 134, top. Whew. Okay. Gonna get in c5 soon. To watch out for the king side. Stopping bishop h6, the h6 move. Could grab the bishop or maybe think about g5, g4 with the fork. It's not going for that. This break is nearby. Now? Okay, first a check. No time for this. 2 pieces on it. Black uncastled. White with the bishop pair. Does he have control? Is white gearing up for this break? It would seem like the right way to go. The queens are now forced off. That was with check. So, technical phase. Going to be looking at this advance at some point. Get this pawn marching a little bit. Get him to the h4 square. Probably should shut things down. If you don't play this, the rook is going to be wild. The rook is wild. Targeting this, so this guy is now passive. He's going to break down this structure soon with g5. g5 soon to activate the king. No. 1 king and pawn ending. Kicking off with g4. The majority. It's balanced material, but these two are not so great. Maybe this first? You have to calculate. How to win the tempo game. Tempo game is not... he missed that. Oh, is he really pushing through with this? Oh, that's so slick. I love it. I love it. Oh, that was awesome. Boom, boom, boom. These guys are marching. The black king's going to stop these guys. Oh no, it's still going to be a draw. Oh, I thought it was just going to be... I thought those pawns simply couldn't be caught. I didn't see the king sneaking over like that. Okay. He was there just in time. What a cool try with that pawn sacrifice. Okay. Let us see. White is up a pawn in the exchange. Okay, now just up a pawn. Black with some nice pressure. Better bishop. Gives the pawn back and is going to look to this majority on the queen side. Long-term advantage. 2 versus 1. Let's get some exchanges in there. Okay, what's the story there? Okay, queen takes rook, queen takes knight. White is winning a minor piece. 136, 109. The doctor has 78. Only 41 minutes to go. I mean, it seems like at this rate, Ali Reza has a chance to hit 200. Yes, I'm aware. Rebecca Harris is Daniel Naroditsky. I see that in the chat. Perpetual against the queen? No, he's not going for that. I don't know if it was there. Rook is hit. Rook is defended. Oh, is that game over? Not quite, not quite. Queen could enter here soon. Bishop takes, pawn takes, knight. The queen getting into this square. Can that be allowed? Okay, f6. Stopping the queen from getting too active. f6 is a problem. Oh boy. White has a lot of pressure on the king's side here. Look at these killers. Can't take here. The knight would have fallen with check. 2 minor pieces versus the rook. These guys are still absolute killers. Okay, is there going to be a mate here? Okay, this is big trouble. Take the rook with check. White is now up a knight and a pawn and mating. That was a fast pairing. Okay, the doctor lost that one. Drop stone. Next opponent. Okay, the doctor was in pre-move mode and now he's down a minor piece. This one is not going to go well. Knight for a pawn in bounds. Well, let's see. D5 pressure. Okay, he's giving that up. He's now looking at this pawn. Down a rook. A rook for 2 pawns. That's where we stand. Avoid some exchanges? No. Now avoid it? Okay, he's open to this position. Okay, he does have a lot of pawns. Can they really get rolling? Try for that, but it's... Okay, he's trying to pull one of these guys away so these guys can roll. He has a square he can step up to. Put the rook here and then... No, that's not really working. Black's got this one. Yeah, no great tricks, I don't think. Okay, he was setting up this, but the rook is there in time to kick the king away. All right, white resigned. Ali Reza. Again, 2.5, 1.5. What is he going to do against Ali Reza? King's Indian defense. Playing with g4. So where's the break? f6, f5, none of the above? Something else? This is dangerous. King is opposite this rook. A little scary for black. This pawn is really good. Both of these pawns are really good. Nice space advantage for white. Now black has to take serious care over h7. White not prepared to double. The bishop has to back off. No. He's going to try and hide behind this pawn. King h7, if allowed. King h7, no, rook h7. Does he really intend on grabbing that h6 pawn? Okay. What do we do here? Are there tricks? There wasn't a good follow-up there. Knight discovery against the... There wasn't a knight move with check. Okay, black just resigned, and for what reason? Oh, knight here next. The bishop will fall. The knight will fall. Alireza takes it in 28 moves. Benefactor. Alexander Morzevich. Okay, he's in 9th. Benefactor, 44th. Queen exchange. Black doesn't want to help white to develop. Oh, that's nice. Bishop here, followed up with e5. The knight will be won. Oh, he was expecting this. This is probably resigner. White goes down again in 16. The doctor in 10th with 78. 142, 117. Don't forget about Rebecca Harris. What kind of performance? 3,093. Ooh. Still a lot of time to go. Okay, temp 006. Very strong GM. Let's see. Temp likes to go for this setup. I know from experience. Okay, he's going to swipe this pawn or not? Does he want to allow black to have a file to work with? Okay, queen on h2. There was a mate threat there. Rook here soon. Bishop is not kicked from f3. Strong post for these pieces. Defending some kingside squares. Trying to get one rook off. Problem on f2. Knight takes f2 nearby. How do you defend that? To pull the queen back? King over. There's checks. Okay, now the rook. Looking for rook g6. Not there in time. Still looking at rook g6. Where do you go? Queen short on squares. Only has one. Okay, he's giving up the queen. Doesn't want the queen. He's up the exchange. Or a bishop in 3 pawns. He's looking at mate. Is this a resigner? I think it's a resigner. Rook here you take, and then it's mate next. No other way to defend g2. Temp 006 goes down. Green knight. Next opponent, Alireza 144, 117, 86. Sindarov in 3rd. What was the opening here? Scotch, I believe. Nice maneuver. This knight is very good. White has a grip over the d5 break now. Fantastic knights. White with some space. Control over e4. Looking to get ready with f4. f4, f5, f6. If you back off, you drop b3. f5, f6 on board. Oh, black threw in an in-betweener. White is down a rook. White got ahead of himself, but there's still some pressure. This will be defended. This rook is very good, even if you get this rook. Yeah, black will gladly give up this rook for a knight. Not a pawn, a knight. Knight on g7, there we go. He's giving up some material. Black's up a knight and a pawn. And more soon. All base points covered for black. Pressure on the rook. Queen can't go too far unless it's to h4 with mate. The green knight gets it. 148, 121. The doctor just barely in 10th. Penguin just outside of page 1. That's how you know. It's super strong. Oh, man. Too many pre-moves. An 8-move kill to Ali Reza. Okay, Zhigalko, next opponent. Zhigalko on page 2. The doctor on page 2. These players are not used to being on page 2. Okay, what is he throwing at him? We got some wing gambit action. The b4. Trying to overtake the black center. Where's the queen going? Landing a check. Block. Eventually a tempo with the bishop, the knight. The knight is rattled. Knight e5, bishop back. Queen is hit again. Is it poison? Cooked queen. Rook h2, maybe expecting only that move. Queen was dead after this. That square is covered. Alright, so the queen's a goner. Queen is hit. Pin. A resigner. An 18 mover. Okay, he's back on the horse. And gets the W there. 156. Ali Reza, just shy of a 3,200 performance. Narditsky, 3092. Alright, he's going to go with the wild e-pawn again. Look at that. He loves throwing that e-pawn out there. I've seen this player do this against me. I felt that. Okay, knight on c4. Super good. He's gone, though. This guy is really good on e6. Cannot castle. He's out of a pin. No knight pin anymore. Light squared. Problems for black. How do you get castled? Mate threat. Defended. The bishop's under control. The white rooks are super active. How do you get this rook in the ballgame? King up. Checkaroni. Flush him right back. White's in control. I feel a mate nearby. Queen snaking in. Right here. How do you stop it? You don't. You resign. Okay, you throw in one silly check first. Whoa. What just happened there? Oh, he could afford to give up the queen for a bishop at that stage. He was still winning. Okay. The next opponent, somebody who likes sevens. 7 sevens. Let's see. Minority attack? Majority for white. Feels like a Sicilian dragon. A reversed Sicilian dragon. This guy's a weak link. Queen on c4, knight on e4. Light squares are vulnerable in black's camp. You'd like to maybe crash through like this, but f2 could have fallen. This is super solid now for white. Where does this guy want to stay? Okay, you can't go too far. There's a pin. We're not just attacking the pawn. White is up a pawn. How to convert this? Oh, very nice. Queen takes bishop. Queen takes bishop. White is now up 2 pawns and will convert this. King will get to that e4 square. White will eventually be able to construct f6. e5. King on f5. Yeah. No problems there. No dark square weaknesses. Okay, here we go. Another game. 161.25. The doctor is in 6th. Let's see. Opposite sides castling. Queen on a5. Bishop hinting. Hinting at d4. Problem here on a2, possibly. In-betweeners? Might be there. Mate in 2 threat. The queen could take. The king can run. How far do you want to go? Wanted to set up a mate in 1 threat. Queen is hit. Getting this pawn back. The knights are controlling these squares. And in the end, black is up a minor. These guys have played a lot. Shy of 200. 2 knights. Base points covered by this guy. Past h-pawn soon enough. Black is in a position to sacrifice a knight for one of these if they turn past. Only one pawn to stop. Okay, white resigns. Ali Reza, 2 losses in a row. Lost to Rebecca Harris. Arca in 3rd, Doctor in 4th. Fishing for 3rd place, I would say, at this point. Sindarov. Got him the first time. Sindarov won. Okay, f5. It makes me concerned about the e6 square. Pawn on f5 controls this knight. This pawn helps control the knight as well. Oh, very nice. You take the rook, and in the end there's also a bishop hanging. So white, I think, or black is winning the exchange. He's going to get the queens off as well. Seems like it. White does have a healthy structure, though, it must be said. Not so great over here. White wants to rip open a file. He's prepared to shed a pawn. So it's a knight and 2 pawns, but now the rooks are sprung to life without this pawn on d3. There's some action here. Now the rook is pinned. Will be won next. White throws in the towel. 26 minutes to go. The doctor with that is now at 96. 96 with fire. Is there a chance for maybe second? Okay, Penguin. First time playing against Penguin in this tournament. Nearly what? Yeah, they've played a lot of games. Approaching 1,000 games between these two. Okay. White would like to get this majority going if he can. It's tough to get it in right now. A lot of pieces watching over that b4 push. Long-term wise, I feel that the white king is safer. I like this group of pawns. You know, white, I think, will do well to keep the queens on the board. Threatening h7 right now. There's some squares. There is a hole on e5, currently defended well with minors. The king thinks twice about moving forward. Goes back home, basically. No, he's moving forward now. He wants to get out of some pin. There is a check. The queens are off. Okay, so this should be a draw. Even on the clock. No, a slight edge on the clock to the penguin. Okay, so he's banking on this knight being able to hunt this pawn. How do you pull that off? Not easy. The bishop's controlling the knight. Okay, black. Okay, that's maybe how you get this guy rolling. First a check. Maybe this first. But then there's a knight check. Okay, he is getting at that pawn. He has managed to hunt the h-pawn, but now this knight is a bit stuck. Oh, if you take this pawn pushes through. Queen versus 2 minors. Okay, he's going to get this one. White is going to get this one. Black resigned. The penguin goes down. The penguin was in 7th. Arca is in 3rd. Okay, we have 4 players with 100 or more. 23 minutes remaining. I am straw. Next opponent. 51st place. What was this? A Grunfeld, I believe. This pawn is very weak. Black is up a pawn. It's on the defensive now. Is this collapsing? Move the bishop. Prepare to throw the king in the corner. Yeah, bishop d4. Give me a square, please. Rook stops the knight discovery. Okay, now the exchange. White has the exchange. It's just a matter of when. Doesn't want to cash out just yet on f7. To keep my opponent in a pin for a move or 2. Okay, this knight. How good is he really? White is, I believe, going to convert this. Yeah, these pawns are pretty good. 2 connected passers, a very active rook soon. The rook can hunt that pawn. Okay, he's getting the queens off first and stopping this guy from gluing this one in. He's going to pick up this next. There are no fancy forks. Rook on dark, king on light. No forks nearby. 22 in change remaining. Still at the 100 mark. Sindarov, GM. Let's see. Focusing on the d5 square. This break is under control. White with the two bishops, black with the solid structure, both sides solid structure. Where will there be a break? c5? No. Okay, c5 only after b5. Fighting for c4 a little bit. Okay, looking to close the position. This bishop does not feel too good on b2. Open a file now. One rook exchange at least nearby. Try and get a bishop off. Dark square bishops off. Bishop d6 into f4. This is a sensitive square. Pressure on c3. Where's he going with this guy? Oh. Just lost a piece. He wasn't able to recapture there. There was a rook hanging. White has won a knight. Pressure here. Push. The rook is hit. This pawn is passed. The bishop is hit. Bishop will be there in time. White should be getting this one. However, the clock, is this going to be an issue? He's back about 7. He's going to be up 2 minors. He's hunting the f-pawn, trying to get the f-pawn there. The knight is hit. Knight is hit again. F-pawn can fall. Clock situation. This pawn is running. He's stopped. There's another passer around, though. 2 passers. I'm going to say black gets this one. There's just not enough time. 3 seconds. Oh, he got the rook off. Can he get this one? He got it. Whoa. One more move White needed. That pawn was going to fall next. That's how it goes sometimes. Oh, okay. The doctor wins. And 20 on the nose remaining. c4 defended, preparing to fianchetto as well. A knight on d5 or not. Doesn't want to fianchetto. He sees something right here. He sees a weak link on d6, a backward pawn. He's hunting that. Knight takes g3 was a threat. f2 was pinned. Exchange queen, centralize, get out of this pin. Pressure on d6 soon enough. First, overtake control of this d4 square. Get rid of that dark square bishop. Okay, here we go. Now d6. Problem on d6. Okay, it's defended easily. White now has control. The knight could go to d4. I would not be surprised to see a sacrifice at some point of this knight. And a lockdown on these 2 pawns first. Yeah, he's gearing up for a sacrifice. For sure. He's ready for it. He's also ready to undermine the knight. That's an approach as well. He's under control. Okay, yeah, he's going with the b4 move. This knight cannot stand here for long. And here we go. It's a winner already. He's winning this rook. Okay, black resigns. Mario goes down. Ali Reza 167, 141. Rebecca Harris. Ali Reza, here we go. 4.5, 1.5. He's going with a wild G pawn. What is that? G5 on move what? On move 3, G5. What kind of opening is this? No idea. Okay, inbounds, 2 bishops versus a rook and 2 pawns. Get this knight here. That's where you want to be. Look at these. Look at these moves. There isn't one natural move that has been played just yet. Okay, we got a passer here. Oh, 2 passers. White seems to be doing pretty well. These guys are kind of clumsy. I don't know how well coordinated they really are. This king is going to hunt this pawn and push through. No passers for black. Okay, now there's a passer, but this knight is way out of bounds. Is he not? Alireza's in the tank. Okay, he's hunting that h-pawn first. Oh my goodness, that's got to be painful. That is mate, folks. Oh, oh, I guarantee that one stung. Oh, okay, the doctor gets that one. That probably felt pretty good for Carlsen and pretty bad for Ali Reza. The old mate in one out of nowhere. Ouch. Always a painful experience. All right. Alireza's still going to take it. But, yeah, that's a painful one. Ooh, speaking of painful moves, that's a painful move to see. Black just netted some material. Looking pretty here. Rook and 2 pawns versus a bishop. All right. I try to do something on these light squares, but I don't see how you're gonna do anything great. Beefy center, trying to punch a hole in the dark squares with f4. Give me a square, please. Black is there to control it. Rook is going hunting. White rook is going hunting. A check nearby, trying to advance the pawns, flushing the knight away. There is a check. Eliminate the knight. No, scare him away. Try to scare him away. What about that? Toast. Black is toast. Oh no. The rook was able to take there and save the knight like that. White is up on the clock. Still down material. An exchange and 2 pawns down. Is he finally going to tame that knight? Okay, he's finally going to get a rook exchange. Or win some material. Yeah. Okay, white finally has had enough with that one. The doctor resigns. Ali Reza looking to just set a record, probably, at this point. The doctor's in third. Zavin. Chess mood. 7.5 half. Zavin's looking for his first point. It's down a pawn. White has really nice control. This knight soon to be flushed to a square it does not like. Black didn't even want to move that knight. It's now down a bishop and a pawn. Light squares. Exchange the bishop. Keep this knight here. Giving up that pawn. Who cares about it? Still up a bishop. Exchange queens by force. Yes. Okay, he's going to try to keep the queens on, so he's giving up some material. A rook now versus pawn. Black king position broken. Queen hit. Fianchetto the knight. Knight dead? The knight is dead. Now it's a knight and 3 pawns versus a rook, so something has clearly gone wrong for white. Better. At this point, a passed pawn. He wants to take care of any checks against the king, I would imagine. Block with the rook. This check is covered. Trying to open a diagonal towards the king. Hitting the queen. Queen on f5. Queen f8. This knight is a pretty good defender. Do you get rolling with the a-pawn now? Are we secure yet? Oh, we go after the queen. I blinked. I missed this rook d1 to d7 move. Okay, 13 minutes to go. Doctor's looking to stay in top 3 land. Okay, Rebecca Harris. Mr. Narditsky will be taking second. So let's see, Scandinavian on board. Playing with d3, not d4. Okay. What are we doing here? Missed that move. It's not fun. Queen e2, you have to go back home, and now there's problem city. Uh-oh. This knight could still move. There is a check. It's also, the queen on h5 is defended. Black wants to keep the queens on board. He's looking to hunt that king on c1, on f1, excuse me. All right. Maybe get the h-pawn up to h4. No, he's going one step. He's stopping maybe a queen exchange. In-betweeners soon? No. Queen back on f3. f4 has collapsed. There's now the e5 square. Maybe for a knight. Okay, the queen is hit. Bishop is hit. Queen exchange soon. Yes. Chop, chop. Bishop and pawn versus two knights in balance. These pawns are connected and passed and very deep in black's camp, but under control. Okay, now it's a knight. Knight and rook versus bishop and pawn. How do you get rid of this guy? Close to mate. Really close to mate. Oh, mate threat. King has to run. Rook is hungry. Go after this. Sacrifice the rook for this pawn. Or this, maybe. He could just hold his ground. Okay, now he's going for that. Time. Get rid of these pawns. It's going to be a rat race. White could still win this. Draw. Wow. What a fight that one was. 175, 149, 113. Penguin slipping in to third place. Here we go. Big game here for Penguin. E4, F4. What is this? It feels like a reverse Latvian gambit. It's not a gambit in this case. White is not down any material. Very good bishop. An important defender, I should say. Okay, opposite sides castling. F5. D6. Oh, fork. It's over. 16 mover. Penguin goes down. Still up 4 points over the doctor. Ali Reza towards the end showing that he is human. Are we in timeout mode? No pause for the doctor. BMW Hero next. 2.5 half. Let's see. Gonna get an e5. Can't get an e5 just yet. The knight angling for g4. No, f4 now. Okay, we have a very locked position. King has to step up to defend the knight. Oh, what's the story here? Okay, if you... Whoa, how cool is that? I love that move. Hitting the queen. The rook is defended. I'm going to win this. Now this knight is a bit stranded. Okay, it's won the queen. Rook and knight versus queen in balance. Bishop a3. Yeah, this queen is going to have a lot of fun on the dark squares. Probably taking on a7 was a thing as well. Now he's hunting this knight who is trapped, just like that. No dark square bishop by black around to rescue that guy. Officially hunted. Okay, Zhigalko, who has stepped up here. He is now in 6th place. I think their first game he was on page 2, 12th or something. Zhigalko loves the c3. Big fan of c3. Oh. Was that on purpose? Okay, and there's a check here. White is up a pawn. I don't know how great that bishop is. Okay, yeah, he needs to do something about that bishop. He's giving a pawn up just to get the bishop out, just to develop the queen side. Okay. Secure your king position. Don't care about knight g5. Still don't care about knight g5. Gonna look for a rook lift. Okay, he's getting activated like this. No h6, h5. Possible way to activate the rook would have been h4, rook h5. White stops that plan. He's still going for this rook lift. Looking at the f5 square. Rook up and over. Pressure on the bishop. This pawn is pinned. This knight is pinned. 22 to 25. He's threatening the knight there. There's a check. Oh, that hurts. This is a resigner. It's a resigner. The rook will fall next. Doctor goes down. He's in 115, 117. Still fishing for third. Yeah, it's going to be a fight. Those top six. Okay, Jasugi. What did I miss? A wild H-pawn. Okay. White with the bishop pair. Not anymore. Black with a very nice square on f4. Fully compensates for being down a pawn. I prefer black here. Pressure on b2. You can't castle. Problem on f2. Another rook lift. This pawn is poison. Be a pin and then a win. Breaking down the king side here. Trying to, at least. There can be a sacrifice. Something here, yes. Every piece is pointed at this square, and there should be a mating attack. Check, rook lift. There is a check, but still, these guys are simply not playing. You have to give up the queen. The knights are pouncing. And what do we have? Get another piece on up here. Knight here, a threat. Wiping out some kingside pawns. To be careful of a knight check and then rook here. This knight is a tricky guy. King here, there could have been a check. Okay, this knight is going to fall, but this knight could fall. First a check, maybe a fork. He's getting some material finally. Wow. Surprised that white fought back like that. I thought there was going to be a mate. The game continues. Huge time edge to Carlsen, but yeah, very good resistance. Trying to defend like that, just to simply prevent mate like that, I think is very good. Found some nice defensive moves. Because Carlsen had a lot of aggressive pieces there. 118, 117, 5 minutes to go. Can he get third? He's going berserk now. These final few minutes. Let's see. Just a few more games remaining. Okay. It is simplified. Technical phase ending. Once more looking for b5, c5. The knight has something to say about that. We're going to have a lot of knight jumps in this one, I expect. Okay, these two restrict these three. Black is... I was going to say, is black doing better? Okay. Needs to move. He needs to move fast. I don't think this one's going to end well for black. Won that pawn. Won another pawn. Time. This should be a pretty easy time burn, no? 27 to 5. Mate. The doctor goes down. Zhigalko sneaks into third. Penguin fourth. The doctor fifth. Zhigalko wins another one. He's probably going to take second. 3 and change. Getting another game, Rebecca Harris. Just over 3,000. Let's see. 2 to 1 in Narditsky's favor in this tournament. Game 4 now. I like black. Gets this minority attack going. This knight right here is out of play. Black knights stand very well. And now he's winning a pawn. Man, it's a really big pawn. He's taking with the pawn, opening up a square for the queen, the knight. Knight's currently pinned. But soon we're going to have a passer with c3. Black has wiped out the white queen side and now is cruising along with the c-pawn. Just to babysit a pawn? Oh, really? He's keeping it really simple. Stopping any possible sacrifices here. These rooks are optimally placed. Cutting off the queen from seeing this, so now knight here or here is nearby. The rook is hit. Back off? Okay, no. Look at how white is stirring up some trouble. Okay, he can afford to give up either of these pieces. He's trying to push through. He's blocking with the rook. H6 is nearby. Wow. How do you come back from that? That's so crazy. Did that not look like it was squeaky clean for Narditsky? What is going on? Queens are still around. The queens are off. Narditsky's going to take this one. 1.4 seconds. You're not going to see that dip. Maybe. He's putting mate on the board. Wow. Crazy game. That is really impressive. What a back and forth. That looked so smooth. I was really liking his Narditsky's approach there. And then, I don't know, Carlsen was stirring up trouble with that pawn, rattling the king position. A pawn and a queen were being disruptive enough to make it not so smooth. Okay, this here is going to be the last game. Probably will not count for the tournament. Will he be able to maintain 5th and stay in the money? What do you get, $50? All right, let's see. Opper, final opponent, 7-4. What a good player, Opper. Finland. Really? Okay. Fork. Watch out for the fork. He's looking still for a fork. He's up a pawn. Black is up a pawn. Cutting off the defense of the bishop right now. It's this guy next. Pressure on the knight. What's the story? Why did Black resign there? Why did Black resign? I'm a little stunned here. Black resigned just to resign and give him a win? Was that before the tournament clock or something? What am I missing? I'm a bit baffled. I just don't know. Okay. Carlsen resigned there at the end. And with that, the final standings. The doctor falls out of the top 5. So no cash for the doctor. Who takes it? Who else? Ali Reza. 185, 156. Rebecca Harris taking second. Narditsky. Penguin G, IM 1. Mr. Andrew Tang taking third. Zavin Chessmood fourth. And Sergei Zhigalko taking 5th. All right. Let's check out the top 100. 665 entered. There's your page 2. 3, 4, 5. Whoops. Manchester United Pro finishing in 41st place. Yeah. Sharks were all out for this event. I love it. Great to see. And there is your top 100. The Cable Box. Cable Box has played for Team Chess Network for the battles a time or two. Taking 100 spot. Okay, this is, as usual, a very fun event. Good games all. Awesome.